Let's go down the line and introduce ourselves.
Hi everybody, my name's Simon. I'm one of the gameplay designers for Contest.
My name is Gabriel. I'm art/creative director for Marvel Contest of Champions.
Hello, true believers! I'm Bill Roseman, creative director at Marvel Games, working with these great people to make this great game.
Hey! Now we're going to show you a video.
Yeah. Hey, we want to thank you all for coming here to New York Comic Con and coming to the Marvel booth. So we have for you right now a world exclusive video showing the behind the scenes creation of the newest character. In fact, she's an all new character, never appeared before anywhere. We're going to see the creation of Morningstar.
Marvel came to us and said, your game is very successful. You guys have a very creative voice. We had this idea of like maybe launching a character that could be launched in the comics and in the game at the same time, which never happened before. They sent us this blurb. It was no more than a couple of paragraphs that was written by Al Ewing. He wrote about this character that he intended to develop called Guillotine. I was so very excited about creating a character for Marvel and that would be part of the mainstream universe and also in the game. So I sent them a bunch of designs. They took my first designs and Paco Medina, the artist for the Contest of Champions series, started like changing, evolving it, and sent it back to me, and I evolved it back, and then Marvel was looking at it, and we came to this final design that people see in the game right now. The Guillotine was the first big original character. But after that, they said, oh, we want to create more. One of the ideas is to create a gallery of rogues. This new character is called Morningstar. She is a character that we created to be Guillotine's nemesis. Guillotine has this connection to the occult and the horror and the catacombs of Paris and this whole like ancient Gothic history. Me and I'll talk sometimes about it. Like, what is this long history of the blade? Where it came from. A logical development of that is to, show another person that had been lived before. Morningstar, she used to be this Eastern European queen, the Dark Ages that owned the sword and used the sword to subjugate her own people. She was like this tyrant type of figure. So they invade her castle, classic horror, with the pitchforks, and take the blade from her and trap her in this Iron Maiden, the mystical Iron Maiden that can trap the soul and the body of the person. So she dies, but her soul gets stuck there for hundreds of years. Until this evil force comes to visit Mephisto. He takes interest in the queen and says, hey, I'll make a deal with you. I'll give you a way to walk free again and go after me. He transforms the Iron Maiden into this golem-like body. Of course, being Mephisto, he tricks her. You're not really free. You're still stuck, but you can walk. And he gives her like another weapon because he doesn't have the blade anymore. He gives her the mace, the mystical mace that's able to capture souls.
Morningstar has this unique mechanic around stealing souls. So using her abilities within the fight, she can steal her opponent's soul and use that to power her own abilities. And then being successful through a series of fights, she'll gain more and more abilities throughout the course of the fight. With her signature, she actually has the ability to lower the effectiveness of some of the opponent's key ups, as well as steal part of that effectiveness herself. So not only can she reduce the rate at which the character can just find a path and gain power, she'll also gain power herself as stats and items.
Working for Marvel has been such a dream come true for all of us. This is like a passion project. There's no single day that I don't come to work and smiling. Oh, what we're gonna do today? We have more ideas for the future, definitely, but we always have to make sure that they make sense for the game, for the fans. This is a natural progression or natural application that lives in our own universe. And I hope they like all the original creations. We want the universe of the Contest of Champions to be looked at as something that is fresh, but also pays homage to everything that's around the Marvel universe, because I owe that to my 9-year-old self, and I think a lot of us, feel the same. We never forgive ourselves for like doing things out of character. We always want to be like Marvel, 100% Marvel.
That was awesome.
That was hot.
And Bill, I want to take it to you. What was it like for Kabam and Marvel to come together to create a very own original character?
Well, I mean, as you can see, Gabe and everyone at Kabam, as he said, he wanted to be true to his 9-year-old self. And a lot of that is about the love and appreciation of the characters and wanting to give back. We have all these, all these heroes and villains, kind of these toys in the toy chest. And at Marvel, everything we do, we want to use what exists. We want to sometimes go through the vault and bring something into the spotlight. But at the end of the day, we want to give back. We want to keep the fun going. We want to do what the creators did for us when we were young. So the whole team totally gets that. And so it's just a thrill and an honor to work with them to see like what's the coolest thing that we can make, not just for the game, not just for all of Marvel, but for all the true believers. So it was a joy. The whole team is so smart and has so much passion, and they're so creative, and it's unleashed here.
I'm back at you.
That's awesome. And Gabe, this is your child, basically.
Well, it's everybody's child. Usually I'm the one that has that itch in the beginning and say like, well, Guillotine is such a loved character. Everybody loves Guillotine, and she's becoming bigger and bigger. But a good hero needs good villains, right? So we started thinking about that. And like I said in the video, it's a natural progression to have somebody that owned the blade before. And I always talk to Al Ewing, who's the guy who originated the character of Guillotine. And we always like exchange ideas, like, oh, so it's actually a pretty good idea to like show someone that owned the blade before Guillotine. Maybe used for evil, right? Most people use the blade for evil because the blade is really tempting. Guillotine is an exception. She's very pure and good, so she wants to use the blade for good, to be a hero. But it's not the case of this one. She really used the blade for bad things.
And you know what I love about the origin and how Mephisto was involved? It reminds me of the origin of Ghost Rider, where Mephisto made a deal with Johnny Blaze and tricked him and flipped it. And here again is this tragic story of this queen. She's turned upon by her people. Mephisto comes in, makes her an offer, she accepts, and Mephisto twists it again. And it's this kind of tragic story.
Yeah. What the best Marvel characters have is that twist, right? Because even when they're villains, you kind of feel for them in a way.
When we make villains, we always want what we call the mustache twirling villains. None of our villains think they're evil. They think they're the hero of their story, but they're willing to do what others won't. And so that we always are working on the depth and the complexity of all of our characters. And what she represents is when you think about almost all the Marvel characters, in their origin, there is tragedy and trauma. Whether it's Matt Murdock pushing the old man out of the way and getting blinded, Peter Parker, after he was bit, did not stop the burglar, and Uncle Ben dies. All of our characters have tragedy, and the heroes decide to do something selfless and use their gifts now to help others, and our villains, who also go through this tragedy and get powers, they decide to be selfish and use their powers for themselves. And that's that fine line that separates our heroes from our villains.
Yeah, and for Morningstar, I think the award is penitence too, because she was trapped in this Iron Maiden for hundreds of years. She's always in pain, and she's always like in this constant state of purgatory. And I keep imagining myself in that situation. What would I do? Would that make me a good person after so much suffering? Or I'll become an evil person and be bitter and try to hurt other people? And I think that's a cool thing that we can explore in the future too.
Quick question, did you guys have any, drawn any inspiration from other Marvel characters or villains when coming up with Guillotine or Morningstar?
Well, we always look at the past for sure. But I like to say to people that growing up as a fan, like Bill, like me, you know, like everybody in the team, that we know the Marvel is a language. It's almost like an instinct, you know. Like we read so much, and we read all the stories, and now we will watch the movies and we play the games. We know what feels right. So it's not something that we can pinpoint at a specific character. But you know, like you just said, Ghost Rider. I never thought of it, but yeah, it makes a lot of sense. You know, like it really feels like something that is inheritor of the same language.
It's like a relatable language, which is beautiful.
Yeah, you said it right. At the heart of all of our characters is they're relatable. They may have amazing powers, they may have cool costumes, and go on these adventures. But at the heart of it, you understand who they are. You understand what they care about, what their motivation is. You understand their story. You may relate to their story. They may inspire you to be a better self, or they may be a warning of what not to get into. And what I love about the Marvel characters, most of all, is what Stan Lee himself said, is Marvel puts the human in the superhuman. And so we understand our characters like they're real. And it's the time and the thinking that everyone pours into it that makes it ring true and feel Marvel.
Yeah, I remember in the library in middle school, comic books taught me my moral compass, you know. But I want to kick it over to Simon. Can you give us some strategy on how to use Morningstar?
Yeah, sure. Morningstar, we wanted to really focus in on this like stealing souls thing, right? It's pretty core to her. It ties her closely to Guillotine and sort of ties them together as characters as well. So as you're stealing these souls, you unlock different abilities, as we saw in the video. And she's also got like Nullify, which those of us who play, you know, it's a very mystic thing. And so as you're unlocking these abilities, how you want to play with her will change a little bit, right? Some of her attacks gain damage the more souls you have. So you'll change a little bit what attack you want to lean into to do the most damage. You'll probably start off using the special 2 because you do damage with that based on your opponent's buffs. And then as you build up the souls, your special 1, which you can use much more consistently, gets a damage ability that increases with the souls, and then that will become your way to do a lot of damage. I also wanted to try and build in a way to use her heavy attack. Sometimes we feel like heavy attacks are a little underused in the game. We know they can be very difficult to actually find space to use, especially in the more difficult fights. So I tried to build some abilities in to give you access to that as well. She gains, I think it's her 3rd soul or 4th soul, she gains Perfect Block, which also has a side effect on another ability that lets you stun your opponent for a little bit longer, right? And so that gives you room to land a couple of attacks and then still get a heavy attack in. And then the heavy attack gives her like her special meter power. And a lot of her abilities tie to her special attacks. So the power gain is there to help you use those special attacks more and more often. And then that power gain improves, again, going back to those stolen souls. And so your ability to use the specials will speed up with, in addition to the strength of the abilities themselves. And so that gives us sort of a compounding effect and really makes her much, much more potent with all of these souls. And then because you can keep them throughout an entire fight, you're looking for, you have to almost struggle to get over the first few fights, or be a little careful where you decide to use her initially. But once you've got those 5 souls, we want to turn her into a bit of a wrecking ball, right? You gotta pay it forward a bit. You gotta, pay your dues early, get your opponent's souls, supercharge her giant base, and then use her to take on a tougher opponent for sure.
And she's playable next week?
Yes, I believe she comes out next week.
Yeah, that's huge. I cannot wait. And after next week, next month, we have a pretty big event coming up.
Yeah. Well, first of all, just to talk about this month, October, this was even the start. First, we unleashed Mephisto on Friday. We then featured in the origin of Morningstar, which will release next week. And at the end of the month, to kick off, to cap our Halloween plans, we're going to unleash the Vampire Slayer Blade. Blade is coming to the contest. So that's October. Then in November,
there's something big coming in November. What's that, bro?
Well, the storm clouds are rumbling because I think the God of Thunder has a little adventure he's going to go on in a theater near you. And at Marvel Games, what we like to do is, we no longer are trying to do, adaptations of TV shows or adaptations of films. It's very difficult to create that when they're also creating the movie. What we have done now over the last 3 years is we offer our partners the option of either introducing characters or costumes or missions that are featured in Thor Ragnarok. And so it's not trying to do the whole story, but it's just bringing that flavor and having it come in and just rock the contest and introducing new characters and new costumes and more awesomeness.
Yeah, and in our case, some stuff we're a very cosmic game, so everything is set in this crazy battleground. So some movies are easy to adapt. Thor Ragnarok, I think, is the most identifiable to our cosmic
It
universe.
seems there's sort of an arena in Ragnarok
Yes.
where champions fight in sort of a contest.
Some kind of contest. The Grandmaster is our master of ceremonies, and he's also present in the movie. So there's a lot of common ideas and themes. So that one was pretty good to make. Of course, when Spider-Man came out and it's all Earth-based, it was pretty hard for us to find a high school in some distant galaxy, but we still found a way
Yeah,
to.
and that was fun for the opposite, because also it's fun at Marvel when you have someone who's more Earth-based, like Spider-Man. It's a really what we call a POV character. You know, we are Spider-Man, and then when you contrast Spider-Man with an amazing environment like the contest, then he can say what we're thinking, like, oh my gosh, there's these rocks floating in space,
It's us, right,
and there's
yeah.
a Grandmaster, and now I have to fight these crazy people. So it's fun to do to both have
Contrast.
something similar like Ragnarok in the contest, and then to contrast it with like a Spider-Man.
Right,
And now
yeah.
to bring the supernatural into the cosmos.
Yeah, the mystical and yeah, but for Thor it was like, as soon as I saw the key art for the movie, and it was so colorful and so exciting, it felt like a natural fit for our game. So we wanted to do something really special. We are bringing Hela to the contest for sure. You can see it in our booth, some early art. We're also gonna bring Thor, of course. He's the main character. Gladiator Thor is gonna be a very different Thor. That's all I can say. Thor is very different in this movie. So he's like he's trying to get his mojo back in a way. So he has different weapons. He doesn't have the Mjolnir. So we try to get that experience in the game too, with the different gladiatorial weapons and stuff. He might be a different class. I'm not gonna review right now, but yeah, you can expect some really cool things. We're also gonna have a new champion challenge. The players love that one since we did the first one with Agent Coulson, and we always partner with like one of the actors or somebody in the Marvel universe and bring them to build their own team so the players can play against them. People seem to really like that. It's a really cool, sweet, short challenge. So we did with Quake, we did like with Drax, we did Spider-Man. We have a new one that is connected to the Thor Ragnarok. We're not gonna reveal who it is, who she or he is, but you'll be knowing very soon. But it'll be big. It was gonna be our biggest champion challenge so far. We also have a new one shot and everything you can expect from a big movie event.
Yeah, and the thing I love about what Marvel Games excels at is the ability to choose your own team. Like, it's like a gateway to your Marvel soul, if you will. And I think what this game does is you can choose up to so many characters to be your own soul, which I love. Do you guys have any love for characters that you love to choose or characters you love to play as?
I like a lot of our characters, right? I'm a gameplay designer at heart, so I like characters that sort of have interesting choices as you're playing them, or an interesting play pattern. You know, our game, you run this sort of 5-hit combo thing, and then there's parry and dexterity and special attacks. But you know, you can run that loop again and again and again and again, and it is the core of the game. And keeping that loop fairly constant is important. But also providing the opportunity to sort of break out when the right opportunity arises, or give the player some choice. Gwenpool is one of my favorite characters. Yeah. I like the way that she works. I like that she's quite potent, but she also has some very strong counters. She's heavily based on her lead abilities, so if you choose to bring her into the wrong fight, she really doesn't work very well. And she's pretty highly skill-based as well, right? She has some powerful offensive abilities around controlling her opponent's power a little bit. And if you can maintain those abilities, then you can really excel in if you bring her into the right fight. And so I think she's a very interesting character. Sure.
I am not a game designer at heart. I am a comic book guy at heart. So I'm 100% passion. I don't care if I lose. I want to put those cool characters together and make like, oh, what if Medusa and Morningstar and Civil Warrior and Spider-Man were together in the Avengers. That's my thing. I just like to see them together, standing like as a team. And I get my ass kicked, but you know, I don't care. I just all about passion. So.
And as much as I'm an old school guy. And as much as I love, Spider-Man and Daredevil, and those characters have been around for so long. What's really fun for me is when we can get a new character, like a Spider-Gwen that you are dressed in as right now, or a Kamala Khan. And what I love doing is once they're in the game, I actually send the art to my friends in editorial, and we also share it with the creators who have designed the characters. Like I ran into Chris Hastings earlier today, who writes Gwenpool, and we're like, "Have you seen Gwenpool in context?" He's like, "Yes, it's so cool." So the creators, like us, we're all fans, and so I really love the opportunity to not only spotlight the characters that people know and love, but to introduce them to new characters that they don't know that they love yet.
Yeah, and I can say a very personal experience with that because I'm also a fan, and when I create something that I see in the comics, I just like go nuts. Because, for example, the Secret Empire event that you guys send the art for Civil Warrior to the creators,
and they use the armor in the
they use the
story.
armor in the final battle against Captain America, and I was just like, oh my God, the Civil Warrior it was an evil version of him. So I still wanted Captain America to win. But it was really cool to see that character in there.
We had, let's see, Guillotine is the game in the comic. As I said, we had the Civil Warrior armor now appear in the end of Secret Empire. I've seen our Venom Pool character on a variant cover that Rob Liefeld drew, the co-creator of Deadpool. That blows my mind. And I've already shared, of course, Morningstar designs with my friends in editorial, and they're like, "She looks really cool. Can we use her?" And I'm like, "Of course." So we shall see. Morningstar will make the jump from screen to comic book page.
That's always my I'm a comic guy, so that's always to see things in paper for me. That's what makes it the most exciting.
And this game has been going strong for almost 3 years now.
Yeah, December will be the 3-year anniversary for Country Champion.
So, in the way you guys make it new and engaging by incorporating these characters and tying it into comics and movies, as me as a fan, I love it. Like, I have it on my iPad and I play it nonstop, and it's great. It's not more incentive; it's free on the App Store and on the Google Play Store. So, if that's not enough, I don't know what is. But anyway, do you guys have any closing thoughts?
I just want to say how cool are our T-shirts. We worked together. We designed. It's like a faux Marvel comic cover.
Classic cover.
We even got the corner box right here.
When he says we, he means these talented artists types. So we had nothing to do with
It's a team. It's a team effort. And it was really cool to think about like how you design a cover and what goes where and how do you lead the eye, and even have the cover text so you can explain. First we just had Morningstar, and we're like, oh, are people going to think that's Morningstar? No, that's Guillotine. So we added text there to explain, what are we looking at? So it's all that thought that we put together in making the real covers here on this faux cover. And
maybe this is a sign of something to come. Maybe one
shall
day will
see.
be a classic cover.
We shall see.
I also want to shout out the booth behind us, which is right behind us. The booth
Right there.
Awesome swag. It has a spin wheel where you can win some cool stuff. We have a tournament going on throughout the entire New York Comic Con. Play it out, see if you can qualify, because if you can, you will be on this stage live playing to win some cool prizes. Yeah, and we have cosplay. We have Guillotine cosplay there as well.
Cosplay, yeah.
And speaking of prizes, I think we have
We got some cool stuff.
something here.
We want some pins, y'all.
Exclusive Morningstar and Guillotine pins.
Hey guys.
Spider-Gwen, this one for you.
Oh, guillotine wall.
Oh, you can't tell. You gotta guess what they are.
cheers.
Hold them the wrong way around.
Thank you.
Morningstar.
See, it is nice.
Yeah, they're very nice pins. Pete's got loads of them now.
So yeah, thanks for all the support for us at Marvel. It's been an absolute pleasure to work with those guys. They're the real deal. You always hear about stories like how those guys are, really passionate. It's all true. They always ask about the story. Every time we have to come up with something, does it make sense? Is it Marvel? And
That's what the fans want
right,
and deserve.
yeah, and we all fans.
Who are
So
the characters?
yeah.
What is the story? Why is this happening? What do they want? What are their motivations?
Right.
How cool can we make them?
Yeah, it's been a blast. I want this game to last forever because that's my dream job, and
just want to keep going and make it better.
And if we're doing thank yous, I want to say personally, and I'm sure the whole team is right here with me, thank you guys and girls, right? We show up every day, we pour our hearts out trying to make this game, and you know, it's because you guys enjoy it, and you know, it's really cool to get to do that, and it's really cool to be here right now, because as a game designer, you know, I sit behind a monitor all the time, I get to see some familiar faces on YouTube every now and again, that sort of thing. But you know, it's difficult for us to get this sort of direct interaction with you guys who we're doing all this work for. So it's really awesome to have a chance to see people in person. You know, sometimes you know, hear the voice in person, or they get to see us and put a face on us and realize that we're real human beings too. And it's great that we do get to, you know, work with you guys too a little bit. And yeah, so thank you so much for supporting us and for, you know, allowing us to do what we get to do here. And we hope you guys get to enjoy it as well, right?
Thank you. And if I can add to that, thanks, I do want to say a thank you to everybody, and also keep following your dreams. We grew up, we were all just fans. We didn't know anybody, but we love Marvel, we love games, we worked hard, we got lucky, and now we're here. I used to walk around as a fan at the show, and now I'm here working for Marvel on the stage. So don't give up on your dreams, have hope, go for everything you want to do, and you'll do it.
Thank you guys. Don't forget to tune in more. We have some more stuff going on today. Check out our Facebook, Twitter, #MarvelNYCC. Have a good night, everybody.
Bring back the friendly